I watched my sister take a sip of her mimosa and bleed from her eyes. The glass hit the floor. She didn't scream. She just smiled, like she knew, like she wanted it to happen. They say Mimosa Grove is the coziest winter retreat in the Rockies. Exclusive, isolated, a champagne brunch every morning, fresh snowfall every night, and no cell signal by design. It sounded perfect, too perfect. So when my sister Angie won a last-minute holiday giveaway, 7 days of luxury in Mimosa Grove, we didn't question it. Not with how broken she'd been after the divorce. Not with how desperate I was to feel anything again after Dad died. We arrived December 22nd. The air smelled like pine needles and citrus. The whole town looked like a snow globe left on a mantle by someone who still believed in magic. Every cabin was lit with golden light. Fires crackled. The town square had a permanent mimosa stand. The people, too friendly, too rehearsed. Their smiles felt like masks, barely holding back something hungrier. Angie didn't sleep. Said something was knocking on the cabin walls between 3:12 and 3:17 a.m. Exactly. She showed me the bruises on her wrists, 2 perfect ring marks, like fingers had gripped her while she slept. I started dreaming of oranges. Not trees, peels. Skinned, stacked, then burned. That's when I noticed the staff. They were the same every day. Same smiles. Same clothes. No variation. And none of them had shadows. At brunch, Angie bled from her eyes. Quietly, casually. No one reacted. Not even her. I screamed. Shoved over the table. Glass shattered. A man leaned in close and whispered, "She's being prepared." I demanded to leave, to call someone. But our car was gone. Road snowed in. And the receptionist just smiled, sliding me a new mimosa. "You'll feel better after this. Everyone does. Just don't spill it. Ever." I found the town's church. No cross. Just a sun-carved orange in stained glass. Inside, 13 chairs circled a pit of salt and champagne. One was still warm. On the altar, a journal with a single entry written in blood. The mimosas are not drinks. They are vessels. The founders return on Christmas Eve. One must host. One must bleed. One must open the orchard. That's when the bells rang, even though the town had no clock tower. I ran back to the cabin. Angie was gone, but on the bed, soaked in mimosa and snow, was a single orange peel necklace. The windows were open. Snowflakes drifted in, glowing gold. The mimosa pitcher on the table was full again, bubbling like it was breathing. And behind me, a soft voice whispered, "It's your turn now." There's something alive in the orange juice, and it wants inside me. I haven't blinked in 6 hours. I think that's how it gets in when you blink. It's Christmas Eve morning. Angie's still missing. The mimosa pitcher hasn't stopped refilling. It just sits there, hissing. I tried pouring it down the sink. It screamed. Not loud, just soft and wet like a baby choking underwater. I left the cabin. The whole town was gone. Literally gone. Every cabin, every tree replaced by rows and rows of orange trees. Out of nowhere. Overnight. And the air smelled rotten sweet, like spoiled citrus and copper. I found a book in the snow, wrapped in wet cloth, sealed in wax. Inside it read, "In the 1800s, settlers found this land. A grove grew here, even in winter. The fruit fed them, saved them, but it asked for something in return. 1 soul per year bled into the root. They called it the Orchard King. A god, a parasite, a drink, nobody knows. But the rules were clear. 1 drinks, 1 dies, 1 opens the orchard. Never refuse the first mimosa, never spill the second, never pour out the third. I'd broken all 3. I saw her. That night, I saw Angie. She was standing under an orange tree, barefoot, eyes bleeding again, but smiling wide and empty. "Come see," she whispered. "They've peeled me back. I'm full now." Her hands were stained, fingernails replaced by little orange thorns. There were holes in her palms, like someone had tapped her, like a keg. I reached for her, but she stepped back and sank into the snow like it was water. Back at the square, where the brunches used to be, it was now a festival. Lanterns made of orange skins, candles in champagne flutes, a pit where the town used to stand, filled with pulp and bone. 12 figures circled it, the 13 hosts, the founders. One seat was empty, mine. A woman handed me a crown of citrus leaves, pressed it onto my head, said, "We missed you. Drink. It's time." And the ground moved, like the whole town was pulsing, breathing, swallowing. I looked into my mimosa and saw teeth, floating. The trees began to bleed, orange sap turning red, thick, warm rain falling. A voice echoed from beneath the orchard. "You have tasted," she has offered. "Now peel yourself." I screamed, but my mouth was already full of pulp. Time doesn't move right anymore. I wake up drenched in mimosa, not water. I fall asleep to trees whispering my name. The orchard's inside me now. Every morning, I bleed from a different part of my body. Nose, eyes, mouth, ears. I stop checking for Angie, because she checks on me. She stands outside the cabin at night, silent, watching, skin glistening, hands behind her back, like she's holding something warm and alive. I found carvings on my stomach this morning, not cut by me, curved symbols, citrus spirals, and old Latin phrases. One translates to, "The fruit must rot to bloom again." My nails are gone. In their place, tiny orange seeds. I tried pulling them out. They squirmed. I followed the lanterns again, back to the square, now deeper, sunken further into pulp and bone. The hosts were gathered in a circle, holding mimosa glasses full of teeth. Angie stood in the middle, skin like sunburned velvet. They call her the bloomed one now. She held out her hand to me. "Let go," she said. "It's softer underneath. Peel your mind." That's how we shed the world. I ran, but everywhere I turned, trees. Each one had a face. My face, stretched, mouths wide in silent scream.